My name's Lucy Paratori. This is my presentation for Catholicism. A brief synopsis of what my final paper topic will be. My final paper topic will be about why penance is necessary/important and whether or not it is mentioned in the Bible. I'll also discuss why confession is necessary. Just some facts. Penance helps us gain forgiveness from God after making a sincere confession, and confession is important to aid in the realization that everyone is a sinner. One of the class readings that stuck out to me was back in September. We did a reading that had to do with, we studied the Acts of the Apostles, the chapters 1-5, and then we watched a video called Did Jesus Christ Found the Catholic Church? And I enjoyed this because in the video, the priest talked about the direct line of Christ and how each bishop traces their lineage back to the apostles and then to Christ. Christ's legitimate authority is passed down through the overseers of the church. The real Church of Christ is in the institution that is led by the bishops, who are the real successors of the apostles. These are the overseers of the church, and St. Paul was the one who termed them to be. Describe one class discussion that helped you to understand what you had read in a different way, or which introduced an insight or question that you found intriguing. What did this add to your understanding of the topic? When we discussed the gospel writers and how they each wrote to individual different audiences, how Matthew was writing for the Jews, and he attempts to show that Jesus is the fulfillment of Jewish hopes, and he does this by tracing Christ's ancestry back to Abraham, who's the father of the Jews. Whereas Luke was writing for the Greeks or Gentiles, and he addresses his account to the Gentiles and therefore traces Christ's ancestry back to Adam, who's the father of humankind. Something I learned that surprised me would be at the beginning of the semester when we were reading Andrew Greeley's The Catholic Imagination, and I was surprised when we talked about how the Catholic Church had changed the stance on sex between married couples. I was always taught that sex was only for the act of procreation, but after hearing Father Mossa talk about the church's new stance on how married couples can have sex as a means of strengthening the unity of the marriage. The three most important takeaways from the course for me were that, one, the church is a body. It functions together as a unit. Like, the people who go to the church are what make up the church, and they kind of determine how the church is going to be run, I think, across the country or across the world. The second thing would be that the Catholic Church has really come a long way since the early ages of the church, and not only has it come a long way, but it's improved in a positive way. And thirdly, I think Catholics are good people who respond to the needs of others around them. Like, that's kind of the motto, or just the mantra, is to help those around you, and having these values and living by values of God can lead you to a more purposeful or just positive life in general. If someone asked me why would someone join the Catholic Church or remain a member, I would answer it by saying that someone would join or remain a member because of the sense of community that the church brings. It makes you feel like you have a sense of belongingness and purpose, and people who are religious tend to live more fulfilled lives, just feeling like they're meant to be here and things like that. I think the sacraments are another important part of why people would join the church or stay at the church, is because they're efficacious channels of the grace of God. And lastly, I think someone would join because of the credibility of the church. The Catholic Church has been around for the longest, pretty much, and I just think that the core values that everything now is based off of are pretty solid. So I think that there's enough, educational and just factual backup to say that it's a reliable source. Thank you.